Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. We can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun. Good morning. It is the 14th. Yeah, my camera looks all screwed up. You know what? Don't worry about it. We don't worry about it. Let's get in on the day. Charts. Do we go to the charts? Man. I'm already like, I just don't think my brain has been working at 100% the past few days, guys. I'm just chalking it up to that. All right. I'm just telling you. All right. So here we go. We have the E-mini. We had a pretty significant, on a relative basis, pretty significant downturn overnight, but then recovery to the levels that we were. Never failing below, the levels that we had over here. So they didn't quite make it to this point of control, which is curious. In the treasuries, not a whole lot of movement at all. It's extremely tight, although there does appear to be this morning some downside pressure. We'll look at it in the bonds too. Kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place here. But although this 156.03 kind of looks tempting. We got some news today. What do we got? Tuesday. No. Wait. Forex Factory this week. I want this week. Gosh. Okay, CPI. We got CPI. 9 minutes. We're looking for a reading of spot 2, which is the typical. Previous reading was spot 3. And we're looking for the core CPI, which again is the number changed in the price of goods and services purchased by consumers, excluding food and energy, which are really the number that you're going to want to look at, especially with the oil being all super crazy because of the, oh man, look at that stack at 30.5. Wow. I promised myself, well, let's get into this. Anyways, the CPI number, that was a CPI number. I'm really tempted to sell 30, but I'm looking for a very specific thing, and I'm only going to trade that. So I'm going to look for the spikes. Only going to trade the spikes. I'm going to fade them unless it turns into a trend day. I prefer to sell. I guess technically we did get a little bit of a spike at 30, so I don't think that it was significant enough for me to trade it, but it looks down to me. I don't know though. We've had some, I don't know, some selling before the CPI. Wonder if that number is going to be bigger than expected. Yeah, I like it, but I don't know. Can't treat that one. Especially now before the news. In the E-mini, I'm sitting here looking at it like, what can I do in the E-mini? I don't know. The E-mini is a tough one for me, I think. Today, at least. I think I've been trying to take a lot of little trades in the E-mini. I think that I need to reduce my target. Another good downtick. And it's stacking up at 29. That was a really good downturn. Wow. Really good. Well, I don't even think I would have gotten filled at 30, right? We would have had to hit into 29.5. And look, only 787 to make it go through. So we could potentially be 2 ticks in the money, but I'm also starting to see some of the liquidity pull. Like, I guess not necessarily pull. Well, yeah, actually it is pulling. You can see here on my histogram it's pulling. Get my histograms in the in the E-mini. They're kind of opposites of each other. That's curious to me. I might have to look at 4 of these histograms to really completely understand what's going on. Oh, I didn't get the text-to-speech up over here. How are you guys doing? All right, we're cool. Close a couple of windows we don't need. I guess. Well, here I got some food. I'm gonna stuff my face here first. JP Morgan's earnings crush analyst estimates as bond trading revenue surges by 90%. Hey, good morning, Uzi. If it weren't for news in 5, I'd be buying for a quick scalp. Oh, look, one will actually kind of turn back up. And look, there was overextension there. Good call. Now, let's eat.
Winston's mom says good morning, is everyone quiet today? I listened for a few minutes and waited until you took your very first big bite. How are you, Speculator SF? Winston's mom says lol, typo asterisk speculator Seth will everyone please hit like while Seth chews. Thank you.
It read it SF. I thought that was great. I like the way that it said that. I'm reading CNBC's story on JP Morgan's profits, and it looks to me like fourth quarter profit rose 21%, with or 257 share compared to 2.35 estimate of analysts. So it was significantly more than expected. Managed revenue climbed 9% to 29.2. Profit in the investment bank surged 48% to 2.9 billion, mainly on trading and sales. Bond trading revenue surged 86% to 3.4 billion, exceeding the 2.61 estimate by roughly 800 million. And rates. Stock traders posted a 15% increase in revenue to 1.5 billion compared with the 1.35 billion estimate. So basically, JP Morgan fucked us all over in December, and that's where all the money went. That's my take on that one, man. This is the first time in a long time that they've said that bond revenue was good. I don't think that everybody in the retail space did as well. So I don't know if that, I mean, it's been tough. And I would say, oh man, we're going to have to look at some of the other banks, but that might not be sustainable. Like, we're really, really tight right now, and this first quarter might be really bad for their trading revenue. Okay, we got like 45 seconds.
Winstan's mom says it is gray and rainy, stormy weather here. How is your weather today?
Okay, core CPI was spot 1 versus spot 2. That definitely justifies some up move. Let's let them do their thing. Curious on that one, the you mean you took a little bit of a dive.
Air Cages says hello.
Hey, air cages. Anyways, the weather, yeah, I don't like that side. This looks like something's that's gonna come back right here.
Winstan's mom says good morning, Air Cages Wabi Sabi. I have been learning about Wabi Sabi, speculator Seth.
Oh, okay. Hmm. So far, so good. Come on. Good trade. Good trade.
Winstan's mom says in today's Japan, the meaning of Wabi Sabi is often condensed to wisdom and natural simplicity. In art books, it is typically defined as flawed beauty, broken pottery, chipped tatami flawed beauty.
Interesting reference. Wabi sabi. Okay, so I forgot to say. I'm trying to take this these spikes.
Lucas says a lot of interest in keeping it within the upper range. Morning, fellas.
Good morning, Lucas. I'm taking these spikes. I'm fading these spikes. I only want 2 ticks off of them. There could maybe be more in that, but I mean these usually come back a little bit, right? I don't think that this is going to be one like we've been seeing though, where they're going to come back to 30.5 or anything like that. Although I do have to say that move down before the news. Did you see that move down before the news, Lucas, where they stacked at 30.5 and everything? Oh,
Uzi
that's
Knesset says morning at Lucas at
super
Air
sketch
Cages waving
now.
hand. Winstan's mom says so, if you have trades are cracked, chipped or broken, simply say, Wabi Sabi Samurai. Lucas says yep lol.
Super sketch. Market manipulation there, folks. That one was it and I mean the thing is nobody ever tested him. They traded back up to 30.5 like it was nothing. When it came down there, the stack was gone. Was that spoofing? Maybe.
Lucas says at UZI Knesset, did you manage to sell it 20 candle with your
Oh, at 20? Hmm. I'm not sure why that one would have triggered him to sell, but okay.
Gary Rich says stop misappropriating my Japanese culture. I may have to cancel culture y'all. ROFL morming.
Oh, I know what's wrong.
Uzi Knesset says still flat. I just sat down like 10 minutes ago lol.
Clear. Load. Is there nothing in my jigsaw file? What the heck?
Lucas says at Gary Rich, can I eat sushi at least?
Izzy says he's there. Okay. What saith Notepad? Look, it's there. Oh, 58. What the hell? No.
Gary Rich says
Wrong.
you eat dog if you like. I'm not hatin'.
I told you guys my dad's dog story, right?
Lucas says eat dog, so you are hating Chinese now. Lucas says lol kidding.
Access. Okay. Now it's doing it correctly. That was weird. Weird.
Gary Rich says this liquidity end range sucks.
Yeah, I don't know. Where did I take my trade at? 20. Took 20 to 10. Good trade. Ooh, it looks really good in retrospect now, don't it? Done it. Hmm? Hmm? See what I'm talking about? Like, so, man, I went to the gym yesterday. It was the first time back in like a week and a half because I was sick. I'm still kind of coughing. There must still be stuff in. I'm sure I have like walking pneumonia or something, and I don't know how long it'll take to get over it naturally. But I don't know if I'm contagious. I don't think I am. Anyways, I felt pretty good. Afterwards, I felt
Eric Cages
relaxed.
says Seth, did you get mugged? Ouch.
I felt relaxed and like I, like when you've just been through a really intense experience and you're just okay, I don't have to worry about my life anymore. I don't have to fear for my. I kind of felt like that. So it was good. Came home, played some League of Legends. Just absolutely destroyed everybody in all of the matches that I played. Probably just lucky teammates, but this is what I hate about games these days is like you do well and it's like, yeah, but maybe it was because of your teammates. I would really like a good shooter that individual performance matters. But I digress. So I'm feeling all that, and I'm thinking about, because yesterday we did really poorly in the ES, and I said, okay, you know what, Seth, we should be testing out this other idea in the treasuries. And I think that one of my bigger problems that I've had lately is that I'm not consistent. Like I've made looking at so many things here that I've created a pretty fuzzy setup, and then I'll start taking them in the e-mini and I'll lose sight of where I'm at, and all of a sudden I'm just clicking. Excuse me. So I said I'm going to come, and even if it's not, even though I know that there's problems with the strategy, I'm just going to fade the spikes every time, and that's all. And only going to take 2 ticks on them, and that's it. So far, so good. That first one worked out really, really, really well. Now that the CPI was low, we moved up. It seems to me this is now the 3rd or 4th low inflation number in a row. It seems to me that the economy has some very serious deflation problems again. I'm a little concerned about this setup. You know what I mean? Like, from a valuation perspective, everybody's saying, "Oh, the stock market is way too high."
Gary Rich
Which
says
I don't
it sounds
agree
good
with.
to change techniques and adapt.
Yeah, so for this isn't necessarily changing techniques. I guess it's adapting an older technique that we've had some success with, but that we started having problems, right? Iran's foreign ministry spokesman says Tehran is ready to welcome any measure based on goodwill to save the 2015 nuclear deal. Interesting. Anyways, I think from a valuation perspective, yeah, it's going to look high, but that's because that's backward looking. And when you start to look at individual companies, there's a lot of individual companies that got just splattered last fall unnecessarily. The value trade was not really working, and so there's a lot of companies that are undervalued. And we could, like we were looking at with JP Morgan, their revenue was really good. I bet you Goldman Sachs is going to be really good. But at the same time, things aren't so great for the banks. But low interest rates, right, is a big help too. But here's where I go in and I'm like, okay, but the setup concerns me, because some of the companies out there are a little overvalued right now. I'll tell you one that really concerns me. Let's look this up. All right. Let me look it up first. Because I started looking at this yesterday because our good friend over at Axia, Mr. Barrett, was saying, hey, Apple is really likely to do a shooting star today. It didn't actually end up doing it. It just ended up being a normal day. But look at that freaking chart, man. Can you see that? Holy crap. I'm sorry. That is not sustainable, guys. That right there. What is that? I exaggerated it a little bit.
Gary Rich says woo slow your horse cowboy on talking what value is. Unless you can break down value, be careful with those words. Harlequin says open up Beyond Meat. This shit was overvalued.
Beyond Meat was overvalued. Yeah. I mean, the value is such a difficult thing because sometimes certain value metrics can be wrong, right? Because any value that we look at is going to be a relative measure. And so if you're trying to measure a company, or let's just say if you're trying to measure S&P 500 earnings compared to the price, well, it shows that we're overvalued. But that could just mean that company earnings are going to come in and are going to be good, and then it won't be overvalued anymore. So you can't say that the S&P 500 is overdone because of value, but I'm just saying that is a parabola. That is a parabola. Even if it's justified, those are not sustainable. It's going to do this. And then maybe they can go and they can do it again. But those have to break because there are just not enough people out there to buy to sustain that kind of action for very long. It's just
Air
can't.
Cages says parabola.
And I cannot, like, I don't like Apple products anyways, but they haven't been putting out anything great or innovative lately. Like, I don't see what's the next great thing that they're gonna do. I just don't see the case.
Gary Rich says the markets are highly inflated due to financial engineering like low rates, buybacks, etc.
Buybacks is another good one. Yeah, companies are putting a lot of money into buybacks and taking on debt. I'm not convinced by this whole thing that buybacks is going to be like mm, causing a bubble necessarily. I mean, companies are buying back shares because they think that their own company is undervalued, presumably. But the problem I have with this is even if we come in and we say, okay, evaluation, buybacks, all of these things, even though they look overbought, they're not, and I do believe that. The setup is not sustainable. The setup looks to me like you pump in liquidity into the system, it's going to move up. You're gonna have a really strong move, and then once everybody's blown their load, then people are going to realize that because of the larger systemic issues in the system, such as what is causing the deflation, what is with all of this, right? At some point, that stuff is not, the economy is not going to be able to move forward without resolving those issues. And I'm concerned that what you're going to get is you're going to get a really great, completely justified move up really, really big. And then, oh no, there's some problems. And then, hey, it doesn't matter. This right here, this is the one you got to watch for. I guess John's always said it's a process. Man, this is the one you got to watch for. Is all of a sudden it's going to be like there's problems, earnings are sucking and everything, and you're still moving up because of the liquidity. Goodish. I'm concerned.
Gary Rich says no, you don't buy back shares when a company has high share price. It's when your stock is undervalued on metrics like cash flow, cash to debit, CapEx. Not this engineering or manipulation.
So, can you name an individual company that you feel is that is buying back its own shares, but that you feel is overvalued? Well, the treasuries actually ended up coming back pretty good.
Gary Rich says Tesla, Apple, Facebook.
Tesla is a good one. Is Tesla buying back shares? Tesla share buyback. Tesla does not buy back any stock, nor does it have any immediate plans to do so. Insider activity has been minimal over the past. Well, this is from a Forbes. Okay, but then on May 2nd, I see a buyback.
Gary Rich says Micron, the entire tech sector.
Micron. Let's try Micron. That sounds like a good. I want to see how much they're buying. Okay. So there's a one about. Let's see if we can do like it with news. Micron analysts, the bullish mid-cycle turning demand supply tightness.
Harlequin says, why buy back shares if you can invest your money in Garlicoin?
Man, everybody's all positive on Micron stock performance will depend more on the second half and fiscal year of 2021 earnings, Wu said. The analyst sees three specific catalysts for Micron: stronger turnaround of the memory cycle, free cash flow generation for share buyback, and a low multiple. So it sounds to me like that the company actually does have some positive things going for it. So they're buying back shares. Maybe it could be pumping it up a little bit more than is necessary, but not necessarily something that would cause a collapse. So I don't think that one qualifies either. Apple, I don't know.
Gary Rich says AMD, Nvidia, all of the companies are buying back shares, not insider buying. That's not buybacks, it's retiring shares from the float, reducing the EPS.
I really like, so, I mean, if I was AMD, I would be buying back my shares. Man, you seen the stuff that they put out at the Computex and everything like that? Like, their new processors are so much faster than everything that was before it. Like, it's such a huge jump in performance. They're absolutely creaming Intel. I mean, like, Intel looks really bad right now. Hey, maybe Intel. Maybe because I'm looking for somebody that's like, who's somebody that's not doing very good business right now. You know what I mean? Let's look at Intel. INTC. Okay. Intel might be a good, okay. Intel share buyback. Okay, here we go. Intel stock will rise from dividend hike and huge stock buyback. It is likely to rise significantly from two shareholder-friendly moves and expected
Gary Rich says
dividend
the
hike.
semiconductor cycle is going to come to a slowdown in third or fourth QTR of this year. They stacked inventory for the tariff stuff early last year.
Okay, hold on. I need to think about that one a little bit, because I know a little bit about the semiconductor cycle because I worked at a factory, although I don't know if I'm too familiar with that side of it. And anything, but let's read this. 20 billion share repurchase program. This after Intel stock survived a pretty choppy 2019.
Algo Lover says GM winking face. Algo Lover says 8:12 a.m. Algo Lover S. If buyers maintain bid above 3,274, then 3,298 target. If 3,274 breaks before that target trades, then anticipate a deeper pullback, nerd face.
You know what, Algo Lover, it was helpful. I feel like that the move or that the pressure is up on the equities, but for some reason yesterday I had a very, very hard time picking the spot because they just what is the word? They just chopped me around yesterday in the E-mini. I took longs and shorts and I couldn't get anything out of it. It was brutal. Probably I could take a swing trade on it is probably what I need to do. I don't know if today's setup is necessarily great for a swing trade, though. I think that this Intel one is a good candidate. Intel generates plenty of cash to pay its dividends. In fact, free cash flow is expected to this year, according to Intel's latest guidance. In the 9 months, September 30th, Intel paid out $4.214 billion in dividends. So at the same rate, dividends are likely to be $5.596 billion this year, well below FCF of $16 billion. But since Intel has been buying back stock very aggressively, it is likely the dividend hike this time will be higher.
Algo Lover says once they bid above 78.25, then longs were in order, thumbs up.
Sure. I got you. Because they did pull back a little bit overnight, didn't they? Just let me look at my volume profile here. 78. Oh, yeah. Like they tried to take it below 78 and then they held it. Oh, it was a really good price if you were buying overnight. Okay, hold on. I need to type something to Discord here.
Algo Lover says that note was for yesterday face with tears of joy.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I guess they didn't get above the 78 really convincingly until I was gone, so let's see here. Let's finish on this Intel thing. I'm still not seeing a spike in the treasuries, by the way. It had bought 4.5 billion in shares. This is 45% of the 10.1 billion it spent during the whole past 3 quarters. In other words, a major increase. Then Intel also said its board of directors had authorized another 20 billion in share repurchases. At today's price, that would amount to almost 10% of its 243 billion market value. If Intel repurchases 10% of its stock,
Algo Lover says Monday, 3:58 p.m. Algo Lover note, buyers have a 3,298 target above, but I'd anticipate another PB before, and if that target is to trade 8:24 p.m. Algo Lover S trades 5 ticks shy of 3,298 target nerdface.
if that target is to trade, 5 ticks shy of 32.98. Okay. I think I just saw the deal is tomorrow. Oh, yeah. Tomorrow, the trade deal. Okay. So when I read this story about Intel,
Algo Lover says my last note last Eve okay hand.
all right. Thanks, I will love her. I don't know. Like some of those prices are useful, but I'm having deeper issues in the E-mini. So the problem that I seem to have right now is they're chopping. So before, when they were moving around pretty good and running, I was doing okay. But I think that the problem is a little bit more mental than it is strategic. Like, because I don't have my strategy there in the E-mini pinned down strongly enough, I'm having a hard time trading it. I think today I could take one in the E-mini if we get the signal. I could even try selling the open because they've been selling on the open every time. But if I do it, I'm probably only going to look for 2 points. Light volume now, quick bursts and spikes. What's going on? Think about it. Why would you want to own bonds right now?
Algo Lover says no doubt, stops have to be wider in RTH, less in ETH if you are up for session okay hand.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that a lot of my problems have just been, like haven't been 100%, and those sorts of things. So we'll work it out. We'll work it out. But I appreciate you stopping by every day and saying stuff and helping. And I do find those, especially when it was in the treasuries. So now I'd be interested. What do you have in the 10 year or the 30? Even better, the 30. I mean, I trade the 10, but I because people have been moving into the longer end of the curve, it would maybe be better to do that analysis on the 30 year. Um, I think that the longer term pressure is down in treasuries, but we moved up. The inflation is low. How do you just have to price it in? And I'm not seeing the volume in this. Look at this histogram right here. This is the total difference between stacking and pulling on a 1 minute basis. And sometimes only 6 contracts. They're not moving. If ESUSD volume slowed, dead zone, waiting for ES now. There's even some low liquidity at some spots.
Algo Lover says most believe a set it and forget it stop strategy works, but they have to meet MKT conditions. Thinking face.
Yeah. Algo Lover, and their problem really is that the stop I'm
Winstan's
looking
mom
for.
says, will everyone please take a quick second to hit like, thank you.
Yeah, I got a good trade in the bonds there. Probably the best trade you're going to get in bonds. So I think I earned my like today. Some of you disliked the video yesterday. I understand I did terrible. So that's fair. That's fair. Okay. Tick up. Interesting. What are they shuffling around here? Hold on. We never turned this the right direction. 31.5. So that uptick upset the buyers. Anyways, average swing in ES is like 12 ticks, and I've been trying for 10. And I've been trying to, like, my stop is 8, and then I've been trying to get, like 16 or more ticks. And sometimes I get it, but overall I don't. I think that probably what would be better is if I just always took the 8, made my stop be much tighter, and I think that I could get I might even be able to get 75% in that kind of a situation if my signal is good enough. And that could, I mean, it would be a lot in commissions.
Algo Lover says agreed, winking face.
Yeah, it would be a lot in commissions, but it would still be a 2 profit factor, right? Because I'm winning twice as much as I'm losing, even though
Ace Trade says morning.
So there's Ace. This, the treasury market is just making me really uneasy, man. Like, not like I think the E-mini is going to sell or anything like that, but just the longer term implications of what's happening right now.
Uzi Knesset says the big sellers in ZB are waiting at yesterday's high, grinning face with big eyes.
At 22? Is that 22?
Winstan's mom says, why even numbers? Speculado Seth, you said all even numbers. What if you take the odds? 3, 6, 9's good morning Ace Trades. I am behaving and being quiet this morning.
Actually, you know what? That's not a bad thought, Win. So here's a question. Why do you think that the range might be 12?
Uzi Knesset says I'd bet those are long targets, grinning face with big eyes.
They could definitely buy this up. I mean, the valuation, I think, justifies it moving up.
Ace Trade says at Winstanzama Mornig, wish I was short 3,289.00.
Yeah, it sure went, didn't it? But look, we're getting a little bit of overdoneness in the E-mini.
Gary Rich says at Wiston's mom, have you identified a targeted wifey for me yet?
Targeted. Hot air, getting cold, don't like the action, to be honest. So there's another spike there. That one was...
Winstanza mom says E equals MC squared, so those numbers that make up energy frequency vibration peak at the 3, 6, 9. Lol, Gary Rich, I am shopping.
Nah, so it tends to come out to be even numbers just because, you know, people will come in and will want like 1 point, 2 point. They say, okay, 2 points, $10 or $100 on the full contract, and then they're good, right? So if you decrease it by 1, let's just say, like, let's say you take 7, then yeah, it actually does. It actually will increase
Ace
your
Trade
chances.
says at Winstanza mom, no, those numbers are not special. No numbers are special.
It will. Your probability will be a little bit better with that difference between 7 and 8. But it's kind of splitting hairs.
Uzi Knesset says at ACE Trades, try telling that to the lotto addicts at the gas station, grinning squinting face.
You get a long A's? 2287, let's say 8750.
Ace Trades says at UZI Knesset Lotto is a tax for folks who can't do math.
There you go.
Winstanza mom says I do not speak math. I simply have a good sense of pattern recognition, so when you said even numbers and I have been looking at quantum theory, I thought perhaps a different perspective.
Yeah. Yeah. People tend to prefer even numbers. I think that's what it really comes down to. Is I think that the ranges that happen in the instruments happen primarily because people like even numbers.
Trade stating the obvious this morning, face with tongue.
So somebody is more...
Winstanza mom says Ace Trades, I should have been in the special class in math. I really struggle with numbers.
Look at the volume profile. Where's the point of control? 2289. You will find they like people. There's a lot of people out there. They say, oh, I want to buy it. Where should I buy it? Well, 2287 sounds good. Why not 2287 and a quarter? Because that's a weird number. I have to remember, did I get in on the 25, the 50, the 70? No, if I just get on even.
ZN trapped in range. Buyers holding 128, 250 with sellers holding 129, 100 nerd face.
Okay. 129, 100.
IQ says ZB looking for high at 157 to 28 once it breaks 18. Ace Trade says at Winstanza mom, yes, humans are pattern-seeking animals. We often see faces in clouds and think some numbers are meaningful. Numbers don't even exist.
Yeah. But again, I've done some pretty detailed statistics on this, and there is absolutely something to that. It is more likely to pivot at an even number. But if you try and trade off of that, the statistical... The actual monetary edge that you end up pulling out of that is like splitting hairs. Like it's something that I think is worth being aware of, but you can't really make money off of it.
Winstanza mom says math is a lie created by the government. Gary Rich says anyone interested in trading Nikkei 225 futures or looked at it?
Oh, Gary, you should go and talk to Zerv
Algo Lover
on
says above my
Discord.
head now face with tears of joy HAGD. Thumbs up.
Zerv is the king of the Asian
Ace Trade
session.
says if a mini breaks above 3,287.50, I'll look for it to go short at that price.
Really? Okay.
Winstan's mom says are you going Frodo on us Ace Trade's Lord of the Rings? I googled the quote to learn more.
I'm just I saw. You see the spike here in the 10, or sorry, you can't see it. Of course you can't. I need to, maybe we need to reorganize some things. I don't know. There it is, the E-mini. Okay. Where's my pen? Okay. So here was the news. There was a little bit of a spike. They sold it and then they bought it back up. Okay. And then there was this one right here.
Winstan's mom says Kronecker who said the natural numbers were created by God, all the others are the invention of humans. Gary Rich says Winston's mom just dropping mad Google knowledge.
So there was some overextension there. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to come back, just that it's going to bounce a little bit.
Uzi Knesset says I wanna see ZB test 10 before I consider an attempt to break the high. Ace Trade says at Winstan's mom nope, it's just that numbers are just concepts, they are not real, same with God.
Numbers are concepts.
IQ says why 10?
It's just the bottom of the last swing down. I'm sorry for all of my gross noises this morning, guys.
Winstan's mom says Gary Rich Winstan's mom is tickled pink to learn something new. That's why I hang out here in the mornings. I could be over with the psychics or on Fox, neither of those have good vibrations, lol. Uzi Knesset says midpoint of last hour.
Oh, okay. Well, that was also, yeah. Okay, so if we come in here and we do this, and what's the midpoint? 31.
Ace Trade says at Winstan's mom you are here because Juliet wouldn't have it any other way.
And then if I do it in ZB, we get 08. 0810, depending on where you put it. So that makes sense to me. But we already came and did a 50% pullback, right? Oops. Nope, that's not what I wanted.
IQ says 09 is open.
Well, I wouldn't expect the treasuries to do anything until
Winstan's mom
the
says Ace
equities
Trades
open.
there are some who think we can find God in ourself through the pineal gland. Do you think the pineal gland could be a mini radio transmitter with crystals and we can adjust the frequency?
I don't see any evidence for that.
Ace Trades says at Winstan's mom nope. Not without evidence for that claim. Winstan's mom says Juliet Ferret might not, but Mika Ferret would. She keeps asking me to open the garage door.
Well, that's funny. So the treasuries did break out to the upside, but they didn't break 20 and they come back. This could be a consolidating range. We had a spike here. I saw that spike, but I didn't know, I couldn't interpret it. Couldn't figure out what it was doing, and it was a bad time, so I didn't trade that one. And
Winstan's mom says I will tell you something odd. When I meditate and listen to the Tibetan bowls and chant the mudras, one can see sparks of color. That's supposed to be opening the pineal gland, or so the yogi goes.
Really? I think I know what you're talking about.
Gary Rich says at Wiston's mom, I'll even meet a woman who glues legs on ants and rehabs them. She just needs to have inspiration and passion.
I wish I had this ES in a way that I could. I need more room.
Ace Trade says at Winstan's mom, yeah, changing our breathing will change the chemicals in our brains. It's nothing outside our heads.
It's my picture takes up too much room. So here's ES. Okay. And here's the histogram. Do you see here on the move down that the bit's bold? There was a lot of level 2 changes, and the net difference was
Winstan's mom says Gary Rich one evening Pacific Coast time. Come hang out with us on Hysteric's channel talking with famous people. You will meet all sort of interesting women international community.
Oh, by the way, that reminds me. There's a debate tonight, and I think we will stream that. I'm going to stay home today so that, I can be all prepared for it. But we'll stream the debate tonight. This debate will probably actually matter. The Warren and Bernie were kind of taking weird shots at each other, and this one might be interesting.
Winstan's mom says Ace Trades, that's the point. I am not looking for religion, I do want the benefits of meditation. I don't think we have little angels amongst us, but who knows what our brains are capable of.
You know what? I think that part of what makes meditation useful, though, is because it helps reset the chemicals in your brain. Does that make sense? So, like, especially in today's society, you get, your chemicals, especially dopamine, are being manipulated all the time, right? All this media is designed to stimulate the dopamine centers in your brain, I guess. That's not a really scientifically accurate way of saying it, but it's meant to trigger the dopamine release. And when your brain becomes too oversaturated with dopamine, that it can cause problems.
Ace Trade says at Winstan's mom, yeah, feel free to capture sparks with a camera. You will find they don't exist. Our brains are amazing, but it's easy to fool ourselves.
No, but I think that she's saying that.
Gary Rich says, Seth, I'm not attending self-torture dem debates. Sorry, I'd rather look for corn in my dog's poo. Winstan's mom says it does make sense now. We have people taking shrooms like the ones they trip on. The shrooms make DMT.
Well, I don't.
IQ says so, you long Uzi?
I don't think that she was saying that that those sparks are caused by God. I think that she was saying that it's a artifact caused by that mental state.
Uzi Knesset says no signal yet.
Yeah, there was. He did get 10, didn't he? I think I can take this one.
Winstan's mom says Ace Trades, I should look into the kind of cameras that the ghost hunters use. Lol, our brains are amazing.
I had some friends that were super into that sort of stuff. I always just completely ignored it. And don't find that kind of stuff interesting at all. Doesn't look like I'm gonna get filled on this one, and I can't take 129 even. I think I was a little bit late there.
Ace Trade says at Winstan's mom, right, so a chemically altered brain is going to give a better or worse view of reality? No ghosts have ever been demonstrated, even with everyone on Earth with a camera in hand 24/7. RZH says morning. Winstan's mom says I like corn dogs, not corn in dog's poo, but geez, I think a corn dog and lemonade would be great right about now.
Okay, guys. Okay. let's get back to.
Gary Rich says YM short at 945 waiting for it.
Okay. So are you shorting the why? Okay.
Ace Trade says we are never going to live down the corn comment. Lol.
Man. Okay, I'm a little uneasy about getting filled at 31 and a half.
Winstan's mom says Ace Trades I don't believe in ghosts but I certainly will not tempt fate and stay in a ghost-haunted hotel. Would you? Actually if you Google the Thomas House, that's a ghost hotel in our state.
Oh, there's a lot of stuff like that in Utah. There's this property way out in kind of in southeastern Utah that like it's a property and a couple of people have lived there, but like they leave because it's haunted. I wish I could remember what it was called, and like the Indians in the area said there was something supernatural about the area, and there's all these weird stories about it. There's so many things like that in Utah. Utah's almost like it's like a hotspot. Okay, good bid. Thank you. Good bid at 31 and a half.
Winstan's mom says my husband stayed there the week before Christmas, right after ghost hunters had been there. They had a clown room. He spoke to this little girl and later learned no little girl stayed there. Ace Trade says at Winstan's mom I'm not worried about ghosts, but I wouldn't pay extra for a ghost tourist trap. No evidence for ghosts, ever,
Right?
but they make for fun campfire stories.
But people pay money for this stuff.
Uzi Knesset says 11 is a good price. I am concerned about the open though.
Yeah.
Ace Trade says at Winstan's mom he wasn't worried a little girl was in his room.
Okay. I've seen some encouraging things at 31 and a half, but it's still, like they're dropped below 1,000 and they took offer again. Okay, that time they tried to make it bid and an algorithm immediately sold it.
Winstan's mom says Ace Trades our neighbor when I was little was a former Hollywood dancer. Her husband would get drunk and then later, the ghosts beat him up late at night.
So this price action here, if we can focus for just a second, guys. This price action here is a little curious to me because we had a pretty good fall. I mean it's so tight.
Ace
so
Trade says at
ticks,
Winstan's mom then it must be true. I mean, no other explanation, right?
2 ticks is not a lot, but relatively speaking, it was a pretty good fall. And now at 31.5, I'm seeing some indications of people. I mean, there's a decent amount is traded there now.
Winstan's mom says he saw the little girl on the way to the room with all of the dolls on the stairway. He said hello and she ignored him. When I was telling my hairdresser this story, she went cold, knew the owners.
So why is it that now at 31.5, there are still some people willing to short it? Okay, now the 129 pulled there below 1,000.
Winstan's mom says I have no idea what happened but he is sure he did not see a ghost. So, it's a fun story. Winstan's mom says sorry, Seth keeping quiet now. Ace Trade says at Winstan's mom great story. I have one data point to plot. Now what? Lucas says if Neil deGrasse Tyson can believe we could be the algorithmical product of some child at his basement, Winston's mom can believe in ghosts.
Okay, so now the 129 stacked and the 31.5 pulled.
RZH says my PC locked down.
Your PC locked down. The government taking over your computer? Not that there's anything wrong with that, The Chinese government, they're good people, and I'm sure that they have nothing but the best intentions, Yeah, good stuff. Okay, so they took 31.5 offer. They stacked 17
Ace
on
Trade
it.
says at RZH you mean you locked in some profit?
Nobody's trading
Winstan's mom says Neil deGrasse Tyson and I both wonder what questions we have not yet asked. I really like him. Ace Trade says at Winstan's mom me too. Lucas says I don't, he seems too pretentious lol.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Uzi
Okay.
Knesset says 11 invalidated disappointed face.
Takes it. He takes it. He takes a bid. The offer refuses to go again. Now the offer is stacking. A couple of people are bailing.
Uzi Knesset says 10 still trying though.
Yeah. I don't know about this. This kind of all looks suspicious. I don't really see the reason for them to be that adamant at that price in this context.
Lucas says you looking short Uzi?
Ooh. Ooh, hold the boat.
Lucas says I feel this is trap type action.
Oh, yeah. So, did you guys just see that lure right there at
RCH
31?
says kind of I can't trade today ace.
Oh, snap. So, he pulled the order.
Ace trade says too close to open 3,287.75.
Okay.
Uzi Knesset
Wow.
says think we gonna get a collision here. Winstanzamam says I have finally learned how to read wealth in my astrological Vedic chart. Guess what? I can be very wealthy if I move to a foreign country.
Okay. Focus for a second, guys. This is interesting. What they're gonna build? Okay. 31 half
Gary
goes
Rich
bid
says
again.
keep dropping YM.
31 half goes bid again. And they're not stacking a whole lot. And I don't see 129 is pretty thick. 27. And between 26 and 20. Okay, pull. Yes, thank you. Okay, it didn't stay bid. The 5-year has a little
Uzi
bit too
Knesset
much
says
liquidity at
oh yeah
25 half.
collision.
That was 7. Did you what did it do it in the okay, so I see the 8K bid at 12. The E-mini is selling what?
Ace Trade says did Trump tweet?
Something's up, folks. Okay. Goes bid. I got my trade. 2 for 2. US, EU, and Japan agree new subsidy rules with China trade in focus. US, EU, and Japan propose new global trade rules on Tuesday to curb subsidies they say are distorting the worldwide economy, with China their clear target. That's weird. Forex Live, unanswered phase 1 deal question is what imports China commits to. That was I don't know.
Gary Rich says I'm milking this tet.
I'm milking this debt. That's interesting.
Gary Rich says trying to get short NQ.
So, who was it? Gary said went short YM. What caused you to get short YM there before all of this? Because I thought that trade, that signal that you gave us, I noted it and I said, okay, I don't understand why a short makes sense here, but that was an awesome call. What caused you to call that one out? It was a very interesting action here. Earnings report, maybe. This could go a little bit further.
Gary Rich says my signal showed it. It was a natural turn from 50% of the previous move.
Okay. Okay, I understand. That makes sense to me. Like I can show you on the chart here. It's here, here, and then we came
Uzi
back.
Knesset says, "Welp, I didn't have confidence in the signal. The collision threw me off, but I wasn't wrong, haha. Face with tongue." Gary Rich says, "Sorry, I'm trading off 30 seconds charts."
Makes sense. Um, kind of makes me wonder, what was this overnight as well. Hmm. But somebody wanted it. And read it minutes ago. Yeah, same. I'm really proud of
Gary
that
Rich
trade.
says, "Plus I'm applying some dark magic ta also."
Also.
Winstan's mom says, "MarketWatch says Treasury prices ticked up Tuesday, putting pressure on yields, after data showed consumer inflation remained under wraps in December." Uzi Knesset says, "If you took the 10 to 11 long, it was a goodie bag for 5 to 6 ticks face with tongue."
Mm-hmm.
Gary Rich says, "This is gonna be a good one."
So that's the open. The buyers are the first impulse, and they're trying pretty hard to push it back up. Are they going to win out here in the end, anyways? I don't know about that. You don't just somebody doesn't just come in and buy 7,000 at 31. Was that maybe? Hold on. No. There's a German 30-year bond auction tomorrow. Am I missing something? Let's go Treasury Direct. Upcoming auctions. So today is the 14th. So there's some announcements dates on 4 and 8 weeks.
Winstan's mom says US and China are expected
10-year
Wednesday to sign a
tips.
so-called Phase 1 trade agreement. MarketWatch.
The
Gary Rich says it's moving fast and get out, lost 15 PTS profits in its back.
That dove hard, didn't it? Buyers took it out. They failed. Was it a real failure? Yeah, well, there's a bit of absorption up there. And then they fell hard, but now they're still absorbing and ranging down in this area. Actually, more volume than the above. So the treasuries are at their highs, possibly just going to run.
Gary Rich says up 5 on NQ.
Good job, Gary. I'm impressed. Okay, so there's pretty big absorption at 20. Like the 25.49 traded there, and now there's 3,000 stacked on it. That one, if it wasn't so close to the E-mini open, that would have been a short for me. In fact, it'd already be getting filled maybe here at 01. Maybe.
Gary Rich says, "I'm out, it's consolidating, need to protect profits."
Okay. The treasuries look like they can get shoved back down.
Gary Rich says, "Crap
No?
NQ was a scratch."
That's still kind of acting fishy. So is he gonna go? Okay. So when it was at 02, there was like, okay, well, there's 3,000 did trade. Earlier I said that's too much at 02, but now they've traded through it. So now equities are just really volatile here. I don't know if the buyers are going to win out and recover this or not. US stocks open with modest declines.
Uzi Knesset says I am gonna get a long signal right in front of those big offers at 21 and 22, I know it, lol, and I am not gonna wanna take that shit.
Yeah. I don't know, Uzi. They seem unusually interested here now all of a sudden, don't they? I suppose that a buy from a valuation perspective makes some sense. Just because the news was bad. If we just
Uzi
say
Knesset says yeah.
the news was inflation's not there, then that pushes us up, and how you calculate that out, I don't know. But that could mean up pressure, but okay, so about 5,000 to get through 20. I would say that probably it's possible that they've balanced. Okay, more. Which is to say, like, if anybody had gone short at 31, sold that 31 and filled that guy, I think they're probably out now.
Uzi Knesset says there it is lol.
Now, interestingly enough, I'm not getting a spike on that uptick.
Winston's mom says I have a name for your son. How would Mrs. Speculator Seth like a Winston son? Just imagine his personality if he takes after his name. Son, is my watch stashed under the couch, again?
Son.
Gary Rich says if NQ goes too red and turns green a bit, the turn will soon come. I'm waiting to see how they battle back and forth.
This is really interesting action. Okay, Pelosi says she's not announcing impeachment managers during the caucus per multiple Democrats in the meeting. I don't see why that would matter, but that could be it. By the way, I was looking at this would be a good time to adjust my camera. I was looking at it the other day and I was like, you know what? I do like the
Uzi Knesset says 22 gonna bust.
saturation, but it was just a little bit too much. There we go. You can see the poor side of my head. Oh my gosh. I don't know what's causing all that.
Uzi Knesset says there's a value target at 24.
Well, I suppose that since I'm not getting
Gary Rich
overextension,
says the
that
first
this
10
means they
minutes of
could
the open lets
continue
me
to
see
move
who
up.
is gonna drive this.
Do you think that it was this news that Pelosi's not going to announce the impeachment managers? So does this mean that Democrats are going to continue to withhold articles of impeachment?
Winston's mom says this would be a good time to like. Also, everyone please take a quick second and like Speculators' channel. A few more likes and his channel numbers go up.
Thank you, Win. Maybe get one here? No? No, I don't think so.
Kaka Silva says Tesla over $500 bubble.
Oh, we were talking about that earlier, Kaka. I don't know about Tesla. I was looking at
RZH
Intel.
says, how are you at Win? Ace Trade says, I still want to know who the assholes are that disliked this channel. I mean, come on. Gary Rich says, no shit on Tesla.
I think we're getting
Winstan's mom says, good
degraded
RZH, how are you? How goes the new year?
because oh well, what is it right now? What do you guys see? I just see 6 likes today. Mm-mm-mm-mm. How do I see it? Let me try and look. It doesn't show me the dislikes. Actually, that's the funny thing. It only shows me the likes. Isn't that funny? It only oh 3. Good
Uzi Knesset says, boom.
move. Well, it is kind of turning into a trend day, but I'm gonna stick with my what I was gonna do. I was
Ace
gonna call
Trade says was going to call
3283 short.
3283.75 short, but missed it. RZH says we have festival coming weeks. Uzi Knesset says that 10 was the trade of the day, I guess, lol.
Yeah. I'm still not seeing any more news. Just this thing about Pelosi not announcing things. While this Mohammed El Rain, while the spotlight is on the signing of the Phase 1 of the China trade deal, an interesting development elsewhere. In an approach that differs in 2 ways, the U.S. teams up with other countries to put pressure on China. Talking about that thing they were talking a little earlier. U.S. consumer prices rose slightly, but
RZH says, are
underlying
you on
inflation
Discord?
good. Yeah. So am I missing something on Discord? Mm-mm-mm-mm.
Ace Trade says at UZI Knesset, well done.
I'm always available in Discord. If you guys haven't checked out the Discord, that would be something to look into.
Gary Rich says at Uzi, good job.
I'm kind of tempted to take it short here, but I don't think that it makes sense, and I don't really want to be dinking around with these big orders. Not on the upside when it was like dead and seemed like there was no reason for them to be doing it was one thing, but now that we've had this strong 11 tick up move and they're absorbing, that's not necessarily a short. That's something
Uzi
that
Knesset
can
says,
move
yeah, I dunno
through.
if I'd fight it just yet. Wait till next hour to re-evaluate.
Yeah, and we're not quite to our spot in ES, and I still don't understand what's going on in ES. It just feels like they're trying to sell it really hard, and I don't really see a reason other than, I guess, just profit taking. But look at that. They're definitely washing people out. Look, they got some stops there as they dip below
Winstan's mom says,
82.
RZH the Float Festival?
Let's see if that stop ends up being seller side exhaustion or if they come back up and we get even more sellers. Hmm. I kind of suspect that there's still some news lurking out there that that we haven't gotten on Twitter. Mm-mm-mm. Hmm. Okay. So they're trying to make it back above the open at 84. Anyways, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, yesterday. Because it doesn't show me the dislikes, but when I got back and I saw that there were 6 dislikes, I was like, "What?" Because normally we get around 10 upvotes. If we get 16, like that's a lot of that. Like that's really good.
Gary Rich says I think I'm get spammed. A story of my boyfriend dumped me. How do I tell my cat popped in my trading feed? Huh.
What? What? Anyways, so I kind of thought it must have been maybe somebody else came in and was trolling
Uzi Knesset says lol what?
to get six downvotes. But then like it helps the video.
Gary Rich says I know.
The thing is, if you dislike a video, it's less likely to recommend to you content like that in the future. But it actually still counts as engagement and
RZH
boosts a
says
video.
Spring Festival.
Your cat pooped in your trading feed, and that has something to do what that. Okay. Oh, that was the spam that you got. Weird. Did you get that on Discord? Is that what you're saying? I'm confused. I'm so lost, guys. I feel so lost right now. That should be today's video title. This would be like catch a few awesome scalp trades and chat loses their
Winstan's mom
minds.
says the Teppan Festival, also commonly known as the Float Festival of Madurai. I have a friend in northern India and a friend in southern India. They were talking festival food, yum.
I tell you what, man, Indians, they know how to throw a festival. When I worked for Goldman Sachs and it was Diwali, that was always the best day of work. That was good stuff. They get you all the best food.
Gary Rich says no, I'm looking at Pound FX News. Damn BBC. Uzi
Wait,
Knesset says
really?
there's a counter trend sell signal forming in ZB. Astonished face.
Counter trend sell signal? Hey,
Uzi
actually,
Knesset says I know to key.
no, I don't know if that one's enough. I get getting a little bit of a sign of overextension here, but I don't know if that's enough. And I get it in ZB too. See the iceberg in ZB. Uzi, when you say that you get a counter trend sell signal, are you talking about something that you're seeing in order flow or? I really want to short it, but I don't think that it's actually giving me a signal. I can see that iceberg in the 30-year though.
Uzi Knesset says order flow and price based.
Okay. That's kind of what I thought. The reason I was wondering that was because it was like, okay, it's come up here, but it hasn't actually moved, so it can't be.
Uzi Knesset says offers are piling down on a price level I'm looking at.
Gotcha. Maybe the short at 03.5 was right. Look, down tick. They gonna go into 02?
Uzi Knesset says I ain't jumping on it though.
You're not jumping on it. I am definitely a little bit worried about what's
IQ
going
says
on
pulling
here.
to 16. RZH says we have Dragon Boat Festival beaming face with smiling eyes.
Ooh. We have Christmas and Thanksgiving. That's a good Thanksgiving is a good festival. Come on. Nobody thinks of it that way.
Winstan's mom says I've been learning about the different Indian states. Their
Mm.
country is a lot like ours with only 29-ish states. I think I would like to visit Dharamshala. I understand Goa as the Vegas of India.
Yeah. Goa is where all the parties are.
Uzi Knesset says given the momentum a cell signal can be blown out of the water up here but that doesn't change the fact that I saw it lol.
Right.
RZH says sorry for delay I just can't see the stream properly.
Oh, I'm sorry. Have I been dropping for 226? I totally get what you're saying, Uzi. I mean, from the given the context, when you see a
Winstan's
cell
mom says
signal,
Dragon Boat Festival. I must have gotten off at the wrong station. Great I have always wanted to see China.
when you get a cell signal like that, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to reverse. It could just be a pause, and that's sure what it seems like at the moment.
Winstan's mom says Dragon, are you Year of the Dragon? I am Year of the Dog.
Block by.
They're taking it up through there really easy, so that suggests to me that the big boys on the buy side still have control.
Uzi Knesset says exactly, at the day's high, value target at 24. Some pausing makes sense. RZH says I'm the Year of Rabbit. Uzi Knesset says they about to turn the week positive.
Mm-hmm. I'm so okay. I'm seeing another tweet here. U.S. House Speaker Pelosi tells House Democrats she will not name impeachment managers on Tuesday. Vote on
Gary
impeachment
Rich
resolution
says
likely
is
on
stuck
Wednesday.
in a tight range.
I don't know. The news on impeachment is definitely something that could move the markets, but I don't see how this is relevant and actually is reason for the move that we're seeing. But the way that it's percolated out and everything like that definitely feels like that's a really good explanation for why they're moving down in the E-mini and all of this stuff. So, can you believe that I took that trade like literally down at the bottom, but I said only 2 ticks? But I don't know. That's where I have problems because any other day, if I hadn't have come in and said, okay, my problem is that I need to stick to this thing even if I have some, it doesn't necessarily always work and things like that. But I'm only going to take 2 ticks because that's like the minimum that I know that I can get off of that signal. But any other day, I would have tried to let that ride, and I would still be holding it.
You are an earth sign. In Western astrology, I am all air signs and my karmic lesson is to stay grounded to the earth. The earth signs are also coins or pentacles in tarot. RZH says hit that like button beaming face with smiling eyes.
Thank you.
Gary Rich says this weekend forward it's all about earnings impeaches low news unless Senate votes for it.
So,
Uzi Knesset says neutral face.
yeah, I mean, so if she doesn't name managers. Oh, okay, wait. Am I meeting this? U.S. House impeachment managers to be named on Wednesday. Okay, so are they saying she is going to send the stuff over to the Senate, but it's going to happen on Wednesday and not Tuesday? Is that what the news is? I don't understand how that is a reason for markets to do anything.
Nice to know it win.
Also, there was a little bit of overextension on that latest. I mean, they've been doing it on every downturn, I would say. Oh, not quite. It's not 100% one-to-one, but you can see that on that latest downturn, there was a lot more people involved on it. Look at the cumulative delta. They've been trying to buy the dip. That is weird. That is weird. Let's send that to our equity friends. I'm interested to see what they're going to say about that.
Gary Rich says it's going over to the Senate, the managers as a formality, like jury selection kinda.
Yeah. Maybe that's not the news. I don't know. Rand Paul pledges to force Hunter Biden vote if GOP backs Dem impeachment witnesses.
Winstan's mom says, do you think that John Bolton should testify? I mean, he was sitting there during this phone call, and this is not just about one phone call, but Bolton knows what happened.
I don't think it matters. I think that we know more than enough about what happened to put this to rest. And I don't think that John Bolton is going to say anything that is going to make a difference on anything. And I also think that Democrats might be a little bit disappointed in what he ends up saying. Because there's this thought, there's this hope in their minds that John Bolton left the administration and not necessarily on good terms, and ergo, he is likely to try and trash the administration and things like that. And I don't think that that's what's going to happen, especially not after all of this stuff that we've been seeing in Iran. John Bolton is probably going to continue to be a team player. And he's not going to do anything that would undermine the president or the power of the executive branch is in terms of its discretion over foreign policy. And so you could see a situation where he gets called and he gets on the witness stand, and Democrats all think that he's going to do something, trash the president, and then he is extremely argumentative with the Democrats, and that it actually helps President Trump. I think that that is like a really strong possibility. And this whole thing to try and get like the impeachment with like to be witnesses is a game. It's just a political game because they're just trying to run the rules the same way that they ran it under Bill Clinton's impeachment. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to throw it over there, and then they'll have a vote. And Democrats really, really want John Bolton to testify. It's
Gary
Really
Rich
hard.
Says Dems are trying anything to distract the public.
To
They don't have
distract
any
the
plans for
public.
2020 to challenge Trump at this moment.
Well, yeah. So you come in, Democrats want that vote. It's really hard to sit down and say, well, we're not going to allow it, because then that kind of looks suspicious. I understand that strategy, right? But then what are the Republicans going to do? They're going to turn around.
Winstan's mom says, do you think they should call Hunter Biden?
Yeah, they're going to turn around and they're going to call Hunter Biden. That's what's going to happen. And that's not going to look good for Democrats. There's no way you can spin that one, because it's going to be like, why are they paying you so much? What were you actually doing with them? And it's going to be clear that the only reason that Hunter had that job was because he was
Live
Biden's
Action
son.
says why.
So I really think that Democrats are leading themselves into a dead end.
Bombshell report dropped by NYT on how the Russians have been trying to hack Burisma stuff since November to get dirt on Biden. Uzi Knesset says like no one saw that coming.
Sure. Anyways, so yeah.
Winstan's mom says TEP.
The problem that Democrats have here is that impeachment is going to end up looking like a political maneuver, and if that's the end,
Uzi Knesset says anything that exposes Democrats or is bad for them in any way is Russians.
If that's the takeaway that the American public come away with, is that impeachment was an entirely political thing, that's devastating to Democrats.
Winstan's mom says that was supposed to be, yep. Gary Rich says they should call the State Department official who warned the Obama-Biden admin about the conflict of Hunter and his stuff.
There you go.
RZH says John Bolton was associated with Iranian general.
John Bolton was associated with the Iranian general? You saying that John Bolton would be upset that that Iranian general was killed? Still a lot of volume trading through here on icebergs at 04, half, and 05. And I'm not sure if I'm getting anything
Uzi
that I
Knesset
can
says still can't
actionable.
believe Hunter was caught smoking crack in the VIP room at a titty bar lol.
What, really?
Live Action says no, that was Obama.
Okay, so I'm looking. What are the guys in Equities Discord saying? Looking for 4250, then they can buy whatever they want.
Gary Rich says man NQ is getting flattened.
I think that they're talking about NQ on that one.
Live Action says he was instrumental in Iran deal.
Mixed earnings, sell the new deal news, fear of a bad trade deal, mixed data, seems small things
Uzi
added
Knesset
together.
says damn ZB is still bullish this hour.
Yeah, it is.
Live Action says the general was.
No, that was Obama. He was instrumental in the Iran deal. The general was. I see.
RZH says he was happy.
Oh, Bolton was happy that the general was killed. I bet.
Gary Rich says see I'm missing
Okay.
money listening to politics, just kidding. I miss a lot of trades.
I've been trying to stay focused here. I'm not so sure that a short makes
RZH
sense.
says yes. Live Action.
I'm just not seeing enough people crowd into that trade long for it to have to pull back. Okay, so now I see somebody just stacked a huge, well, he stacked 2,500 at 05. That's not a signal for me. In fact, I've tried taking those a lot lately and been screwed over by them. I think that might be a short, but contextually that might be a short. Huh.
Gary
That's
Rich
a
says
lot.
it's very dangerous to short or long on a mini, way too tight, which becomes pain.
Well, so here's the thing is that the cumulative delta in the ES futures is long, about 5,000 contracts. So they're trying to buy the dip. Either way that this ends up resolving in ES, there's going to be some unhappy traders. That's a pretty big one at 05. I'm seeing some iceberg. Okay. There's some iceberging at 04 half, so some people were selling it, but it ticks up to it. It's still 48. Okay.
Gary Rich says we shall see if they barf that delta up later in the session on S.
Right. I mean, if they get back above the open, then yeah, they could totally just cause all those shorts to puke and just push us to new all-time highs. But then the question is why they so excited in the treasuries as well. If it was just trading and people's positions and stuff, then I don't think that
Winstanza
the
says year of
treasuries
the
would
rabbit
react that way.
RZH lucky numbers 3, 6, 9, avoid 1, 7, 8.
Yeah. Okay.
RZH says politics are so like icebergs.
Okay, down tick. I still don't see anything that I could take as my signal, so 47 at 04. There's just, it looks like there's a lot of big traders taking stuff both ways here. So I can't necessarily make sense of any of that. What the hell? So did you see that one? They pulled at 04 half. They stacked at 04. And
Gary
people
Rich
still
says, I
sold
really
it.
wish I had that data on the gamma long, short guys. I might consider going Bloomberg Terminal this year.
That was so weird. So the 040 stacked and they sold it anyways in the iceberg.
Winstanza Mom says lol 369 and what have I been telling you gentlemen? Tesla's magic numbers energy frequency vibration chi. What is frequency and vibration in Chinese?
Whatever. Where? Is this going to be another 10K at 04?
Winstanza Mom says lol.
I don't know. There's lots of numbers. It can be hard to make money off of that sort of a thing.
RZH says alright Win noted that slightly smiling face.
Oh man, I want to buy 04 so every time that I see a big number there, I just get excited. I want to buy it.
Gary Rich says hold on let me pull my Chinese fortune cookie from the dog's butt. Wait one.
Oh my gosh, I get some of the dumbest
Winstanza
fortunes
Mom says
sometimes.
slightly smiling face just made my day.
Slightly. Oh man. We can make a special indicator that'll highlight all of the 3 6s and 9s just for you. And we can see if there's anything to it. I'm sure that we'll be watching it and we'll be like, I mean, look, it turned there and it touched 9 and it turned. So cryptos are surging at 2-month highs after CME options start trading. Well, that's weird.
Winstanza Mom says I really like fortune cookies. The cookies taste darn good.
That was a really strong upturn there, though, wasn't it? Ooh. Really strong upturn. I don't think that CME options is a great reason to buy cryptocurrencies. I really don't. Because you know what I'm sitting here thinking? I'm sitting here thinking, hey, maybe I can finally make
Winstanza
money
Mom says
selling
but I do not
Bitcoin.
want one from your dogs behind. Thank you very much, Gary Rich.
You walked into that one, Gary. Oh my gosh. Okay, ZB's doing something, or sorry, the 5-year is doing something here. The 5-year is iceberging hard on the buy side.
Gary Rich says lol.
And ZB is doing it too. Well, it's really clear in the 5-year that it's an iceberg buy, but I'm not necessarily seeing a ton of level 2 activity to back it up. And it's like really thick on both sides now. Like, look, there's 34s all the way down, 03 half, 03, 02. 04 half is pretty thick. They could plow through it, but Supreme Court declines to hear the Free the Nipple case? Really? Oh, man. You guys heard
Gary
about
Rich
that
says
story?
Seth when you see those iceberg orders do you see some direction or just a spoof?
I mean, sometimes, Gary, I do. I think that in general, though, icebergs. So okay, let me restart. So whenever I'm using these one range charts and I get spikes, a lot of the time those are icebergs. So I would definitely say there's some iceberg buying here, and there's some iceberg buying here. The tendency is that when there's an iceberg, that they're going to reverse a bit. I would say that depending on whether the action is trending or not, it can be like a 60% chance that they're going to reverse. But because when you trend, they just plow right through them. The trying to trade just off of icebergs is like a really dicey trade, you know? Like, I don't think that you can just anytime that I see an iceberg, I fade it, and that's not a profitable strategy. This is not going to work because when you lose, it's going to lose more than you make, and you can't just hit into the icebergs every time either. Now there are other things that you can do, like you can try and use the iceberg and scalp around the iceberg, right? They're kind of like, you know, if we're looking at the playing field, and icebergs are like objects to hide behind, you know. So when I see icebergs, like I feel like that my instinct is always to try and, you know, buy it and see the iceberg hold. But the truth is that when we start seeing tons of icebergs all over the place, that is really probably more an indication that it will be very difficult to read what the balance is in that area, and that you maybe should just not trade it. If that makes, that's my current thoughts on icebergs. So here I'm waiting for some sort of an overextension in the 10-year in level 2. I'm not getting it, but I am getting icebergs in the 30 and the 5, and I bet even here on the 10 you might even see it. Yeah, a little bit. Oh, that's the volume one. That's not what we want here. Yeah, on the range chart you can see a little bit. So there is some iceberging in all of the instruments across the board. That does not mean that it's going to hold this 04 area. And I would be much more interested.
Gary Rich says, okay, just wanted to see what you thought on icebergs, how you view them.
Yeah. I would be much more interested in if I saw a spot where it looked like, based on the level 2, that everybody was clicking. That to me is a better probability trade. That's why I moved over to this 1 minute chart on this one. And I think that I will switch these guys over as well. Because the 1 minute chart just shows what I'm looking for so much better. There's really, I really want to show too many of these histograms, frankly. I need to come up with a better way to look at it. Because with the way that it is right now, it's too hard to see. Too hard to see everything, rather. Okay, the E-mini has formed an inside bar and a doji after it. That
Winstanza
might
Mom says,
suggest long.
icebergs, full speed ahead. Freud used the analogy of an iceberg to describe the 3 levels of the mind. Freud said the conscious mind consists of all the mental processes of which we are aware. Winstanza Mom says, and this is seen as the tip of the iceberg. It exists just below the level of consciousness, before the unconscious mind.
So if I'm trying to go off of this inside bar strategy, I don't know about taking this one right here, but then if we were able to get above 2385 or so, then it would maybe be more worthwhile to take longs. I don't know though. They have really chilled out. Does look like equity's still holding a bid. Is Forrest asks, is January usually this week? To me, it's been pretty bad so far. Usually treasuries move really good in January, but because of the Iran thing, it's been weird. Let's just say weird.
Live Action says, I remember a trade I took riding the back 1K blocks hitting offer. Problem with this one was market went pretty far against me before finally working out.
Oh yeah. Yeah. For sure. Look, the 5-year got through that iceberg and moved lower. So there you have it. Even if let's just say that I got the trigger long here, like taking it at 04 would be, I think, would be ill-advised, because then you have to try and get that fill behind 5,000 contracts at 05. And that's not really the kind of scalp that I'm looking for, because if I'm looking for overextension by all of the small guys.
Winstan's mom says, what is on today's gym schedule? Speculator Seth. Anything easy.
Oh, no gym today. Anyways, if I'm looking for some overextension on the small side, if they do it, but then the larger guys have bigger ideas, then it doesn't matter, right? So the presence of large traders up here in this area makes me not want to try and take this trade up here. It's my thinking. But if I get the signal, I'm still going to take it, because that was what I said I was going to do. We got this one right here. Did you see there was this one, but it was after trend, so I didn't take that one. That one I said didn't count, but I took this one, and I took, well, I don't know why I didn't take that one. No, I didn't take that one, right? No, I didn't. I'm not quite sure why I didn't take that one.
Gary Rich says, where did Ace go? Is he cooking bacon nude with the apron? Lol.
I don't know. I think that he caught his short, right? He was kind of having trouble catching it. It was moving fast, but I think that he might have gotten it and just had to walk. But, he's got to get the kids ready for school and all that stuff.
Uzi Knesset says, Ace don't like hearing people bash Democrats. Lol.
Were we bashing Democrats? I don't know. We did get a little bit off today. I think, I don't think that's the problem. No, we need to think a little bit about when it's okay for us to go off the rails and when it's
Uzi
not.
Knesset says, it's a joke.
Ace is pretty politically neutral. I've noticed. He's that. He sees the problems on both sides, and whereas a person like me, I kind of look at the bigger strategy and I say, well, for me to get what I want, I have to pick a side, and I work with it. Whereas I think a guy like Ace, they see the problems and you just don't want to have anything to do with it, which I totally understand. Especially if you're not really interested in being hyper engaged in politics, which not everybody should be. I tell you what, like we'll go off the rails here for a bit. I think we need to think a little bit about, okay, which times do we need to be like really focused on the market, and at what times is it okay to joke around, and which things are okay to joke around about and which things aren't. So I don't think that we ever talk about anything inappropriate. Oh my gosh. Oh, we need to watch this.
Winstan's mom says that might make a good title for today's video. Will Ace Trades fry his bacon today, and is his apron spatter-proof?
No, I don't think we should do that. Oh my gosh. So I need to watch this video. Let me go find it.
Gary Rich says I'm neutral. Last time they dropped 2 bombs on us when we ran amok.
Oh, Gary. Okay. It was on live stream, Phil. There was this girl that was a streamer, and here we go. And oh man. Yeah. Anyways, she's a streamer, and apparently in her Discord she said a bunch of really inappropriate things. We shall say. You will see. You will see. And this is her reaction. I was reading about it before I got in the shower this morning. I was doing all my news reading, and I haven't been able to watch the video. So we're going to watch the video, all right? This is probably going to be bad.
I'm good. Who the fuck is crowding my so many people? Oh, he's like a far-right dude. He does like political videos. But the thing I like is the confrontation videos where he goes after people who are like really who are like saying really fucked up shit online. Like they say really fucked up shit. Thank you for 100 bits.
Like yourself?
I don't care about his actual political views. I just find like yourself? Nah, not like me. Like really bad stuff. Like
oh
man.
man.
Who the fuck is crowding my so many people?
Wait, that's not the clip that I wanted. I wanted to see her reaction. Oh, here we go. Full logs leaked. Blah 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 blah. Oh, and there's a bunch of particular things. Oh my gosh, there's a picture of her when she was reading the things, but where's the... Oh, here we go. Nope, that's not it either. There's a link I wanted to watch that was like her, where that was taken from. Oh my gosh. Anyways, so like when you look at the pictures, oh my gosh, where was it? Like the logs were like ridiculous. Okay, like they just go through the Discord and search for her saying like certain words, and there's all of these tons of hits, which is like ugh. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's awful. And you always, anytime that something like that happens, because I feel like I'm pretty careful about what I say, but sometimes we talk about crazy things and stuff like that. I don't think we ever go off the rails like that. And I certainly never do, but I'm happy to see that even nowhere in the Discord do we have any kind of bad stuff like that.
Winstan's mom says it's not a bad idea to talk social media etiquette and channel triggers. A young man in our Jungian community met someone and got in trouble online because she said something about a child. Winstan's mom says look at the dancing frog.
She said the
Uzi
N-word.
Knesset says did she say the ENWARD?
Yes,
Gary
she did.
Rich says YouTube sucks with these no-go words. Uzi Knesset says the ENWARD is like the Necronomicon. Speak it and the dead rise and drag humanity into the abyss lol. Gary Rich says I found a Aussie Twitch girl, but she also a cam model is her real job. Winstan's mom says one thing that most channels will do is to post a moderator. Give a few of your subscribers who you trust the YouTube wrench, the blue wrench. The idea of a moderator keeps people behaving better.
Yeah. You know, if we had 100 people, then I would give some of you guys some moderator privileges, but we never had to deal with that, so I have been able to handle it on my own. Anyways, so we don't ever go off the rails like that, but sometimes we just get into like really crazy stuff. All Twitch thoughts on camera. Anyways, hey, listen, you know, I don't want to.
Uzi Knesset says all Twitch thoughts are cam models lol.
You know what? People, if you can make money doing it, I'm not gonna bash it. So anyways, Some people work hard. Some that I'm not gonna say that all Twitch thoughts are bad people or something like that. That would be dumb.
Gary Rich says, well guys, we never gonna get a wrench waiting for 100 peeps.
I'll tell you what, you guys, when we get to 100 concurrent viewers, couple of you guys that are listening to me right now that are here every day, yep, you're gonna have to get the wrench. Gonna have to give you a little bit of responsibility. That'll be hard because then you're in a trade and then there's like somebody's going crazy in chat or something. How do you deal with that? I don't know. I've also thought, because I think that if we ever got to 100 concurrent viewers, that we would probably have enough viewers, or rather subscribers, to have paid subscriptions. Like YouTube would allow you to do the donate $5 a month thing. But you have to have like a crazy number of subscribers to do that. And then we could make the chat like subscriber only or something, or we could have Discord be subscriber only and have YouTube chat just be nonsense and only read out the ones on Discord or something like that. Just to keep things organized, you know. But we could be careful, like which kind of like today we had some good trade and I was trying to be focused, and so I think today I was able to stay focused when I needed to, even though you guys were trying your best to distract me. And it's totally okay that you guys are being funny at any time when we read it out, because I don't necessarily have to respond to every comment, right? So wouldn't worry about that. But we should all kind of also at the same time think like, okay, what times do we want to talk about this or about this, and like try and get like or let me put it back this way. This is like this is a collaborative effort. You know what I mean? I'm always looking at myself over here. Actually, look at the camera. This is a collaborative effort. And so I think that we should all try and think at all times when we're talking about things, what sort of things can I do and say that would be the most entertaining on a replay? And sometimes that will be a really crazy thing, and sometimes it'll just be when we want to stay focused on the markets. So I think that if we just try and keep that in mind, we can do better on that. I've just noticed on some of these days, like the funny videos, like that day when we introduced the Chinese bot thing, that was so great. And a lot of people really liked watching that on replay. So many people watched that on replay, you know? So those sorts of things are great. But sometimes we get overdone too. So bum.
Winstan's mom says, right, what happens is we fall into a rhythm at some point, but the lags makes me often interrupt you, like now.
Yeah, I've been trying to keep the delay the lowest that I can for you guys, but I think that we need a new video card, because I still get a few skipped frames, and the problem is that one skipped frame can end up being like a second of lag for you. So later in the year when the new video cards come out, maybe I'll upgrade to a 1660 when they're cheaper, when they're like $200, I'm hoping. And that'll fix that problem. And I could upgrade the internet, but I don't think that the internet's a problem. I never get drop frames from the network.
RZH says, I would wrench the guy smash the bid with his not funny jokes.
Yeah, no, I mean, I honestly, I think that almost all you guys, I would trust. I would think that if we were at that period, that we would need to have a lot of moderators, because you're not all going to be able to pay attention all the time, because you're going to need to be able to trade, right? There's some further ones.
Gary Rich says, by that time I'll be collecting social security checks. RZH says, give me wrench beaming face with smiling eyes. Winston's mom says, Gary Rich, have you ever watched The Twilight Zone? I may have told this channel, but my favorite episode is A Matter of Time. They build time minute by minute and this couple wakes up. The blue people. Winston's mom says, and they left a blue hammer. It's a cool episode that explains why we put our keys down. They go missing and we go searching for them and then they are back where they started. Gary Rich says at MOM, yes. My favorite is the stop time 1N guy who loves to read N breaks his glasses. Winston's mom says, Gary Rich Burgess Meredith all the time in the world to read. That is exactly how I have waited to feel. I love to read and now I have all the time in the world, and yet here I am, lol.
I'm not reading.
RZH says I would wrench the guy smash the bid with his not funny jokes. Live Action says, remember the one with the kid who could read people's minds? He was a little terror. I was listening to a professor last night discussing Lost Sea Scrolls saying Jesus was a terror as a child.
What?
Winston's mom says, Live Action Bill Mummy, yes, I sometimes think that this president was that little boy and now we are in the dead zone, a novella by Stephen King. I keep waiting for the moment when he picks up a baby.
No, well, we haven't seen Smash the Bid in a couple of days, but this would be a good time for him to show up because I did terrible yesterday. And Smash the Bid, the thing that I like about him is that he's not afraid to call it like it is and tell me to shit up when I need to.
JB says, looking to the long side here in the S at the start of the 10:30 to 11:30 hour.
Okay. Oh, so I'm gonna stay home today. By the way, John. I'm
Gary Rich says, even as adult, those old dolls with the huge eyes still creeps me out.
I want to be available. Well, I want to be able to come home. We're gonna stream the debate tonight, so I'll be home. I'm going to be working on Azure stuff today. Ooh, well, I'm liking it now. Okay. And I can see it broke out of, where was it? 85 was where I was looking to take it. I don't know if 86.
Live Action says, beaming face with smiling eyes at Winston's mom.
Okay.
JB says, working on what today?
Oh, Azure. So Azure is
Winston's mom says,
Microsoft's
Live
cloud
Action, there is one
solution.
episode where the mom gets a stopwatch and she is delighted and often stops time for herself to relax. One day she sees the incoming rockets and stops time. Now what she says. JB says 84 and a quarter.
You got 84 and a quarter? I don't think they're going to film me. They're fighting it here. That's funny.
Gary Rich says, see how much NQ has come back. Amini only down 2. The turn might be coming.
The
JB says
Delta's
first
been
target
long as
87 and a
fine.
quarter.
And just kind of watch this price. And I don't want to. I want to be sneaky about it. See if we get a change there. Somebody's stacked on there. See, that's exactly what I don't want to do. And like, I can see that somebody bought 5 there at 86.
JB says second target 89 and a quarter.
Okay.
Winston's mom says, I was never a little girl who played with dolls. They are odd. I did have stuffed animals and I still have my panda Patricia. That ghost hotel, the Thomas house, had a really creepy doll room. Ick.
I was gonna say, oh yeah. So I am. So we can probably trade for another 30 minutes to an hour, but I think that on this one, I just want to catch like the one and then be done with it. But I do like it long. I probably would have been a way better long back here at 82, but like, how are you gonna know that that's where it is, Whereas this 85 is what I wanted, right? 85 is definitely where I should have bought it. Because that was this white inside bar that I was looking for. Anyways, what was I saying? I had another thought for JB. Oh yeah. Well, we were talking about because yesterday we got too much for JB, and I totally understand that. Sometimes I can just turn off the auto reader though, right? Come on. It kind of looks like that they're definitely gonna break the high. I just don't know if they're gonna do it right now. There's got to be a lot of stops up there though. See, look at that. It's kind of volatile. That's like people fighting it. And my thinking on that is the more volatile it is up at an area like that, the more likely they are
Gary
to
Rich says
run.
when I see NQ erase 50 PTS on the reverse, it's the gamma long, short guys, has to be. I've talked to many in the CTA space.
Okay. See, it's kind of like step, 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 goodish. Step, 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 goodish. They're fighting it. And the treasuries seem to be coming down. Still never got anything that I could really read as a spike. This one, I guess. But that's like it's been super slow since then, right? Like I don't think I would want to touch treasuries anymore. Oh, what is CTA? Commodity Trading Advisor?
Gary Rich says yes.
Yeah, okay. This is the same thing where it's like if I get into a long, all of a sudden it's like it's really hard for them to continue through it all. See the seller fighting in there.
Winstan's mom says Nancy Pelosi is about to speak now. I am going to listen and will report back if the world changes suddenly.
Is she? I don't see anything about that. Gulags weren't that bad. Sanders staffer says Trump supporters will need to be re-educated in camps. You gotta be kidding me. They didn't really say that. See, now it's 78. I'd rather Lewis. It's taking a while for it to read things out. Oh, it's probably because it's died. Alright, no more reading. No more reader. I'd rather listen to Cardi B than Pelosi. That's hilarious, dude. So was that a new high? Yeah, by a tick. Hmm. Okay. Okay, who bought all the soybeans? Did soybeans move? USD yen trying to bid up. The yen has not been moving very much lately. I saw an article, but I wasn't able to read it because it was on the Financial Times. But it was like why the yen is not, why the Japanese yen is not the safety trade it used to be. The delay between my above comment and sexy robot voice is somewhere between 20 seconds now. Did you set the voice to delay? No, but what happens is over time the queue gets bogged down, I think. Plus, you might just be delayed. Like, you might need to refresh if you've been watching for a long time, you know? You hit refresh and it will do. Ace, who moved my cheese? So did you see how when we broke up the first time, there was all these retail traders getting long and they had a target up there? And then when it broke by one tick and came back down, they all took it off. And then it's back to 69. It's behaving like an upward consolidating triangle. Soybeans might be front running the China deal expectation of clarity in buying. Oh, yeah, probably. Well, because there's still this question about how much is China actually going to buy, and I don't know if that can actually be written out explicitly in the deal, though. We'll see what happens. So is everyone in the green today? I think so. At least so far, none of you guys have told me about any trades that really went awry. We had some really interesting action today, didn't we? Didn't we, boys? And we did pretty good with our scalps in the treasury. I'm quite proud of this one that I caught before they went long. That one was amazing. Want to take a long, says Ace? Yeah, well, I got my signal around 85. Dow Rising, says Lewis. Yeah. Well, the thing that I find so odd about today is that they sold really hard on the open. I mean, really hard. And yet the cumulative delta through all of that was positive. Now here we're at highs. We're at highs in cumulative delta. We're not above where we were at from all of that selling before the open. I think that there's got to be some shorts trapped. I suppose maybe it's not all, well, because I mean, this whole thing from the start was 24 to 31. 6,000? I don't know. I don't know. Good little slip there. Good slip in cumulative delta that was. Two hours ago, Seth began streaming. Let's all hit like. I don't think you guys. We got 8 likes today. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. It's still kind of just calm here. $1,000 on both sides in the E-mini at 86.25. So pretty thick right now, I would say. That one's going to be 2,000. 2,000 is a lot for the ES. I think one time we saw 5. It's not something I pay attention to a lot, though. Ooh, look, and then they take it up very easily. Well, it still fights. 9, 10, there you go. 11. I'm Ace's twin. I just came in for the likes. Wait, is Trader Joe really Ace's twin? Is it really? Are you just messing with me? Yeah, I failed that 86 level again. They're gonna angle around. No, it's my fake name. Oh, okay. Oh, that's funny. Everyone share on social media blitz. Oh yeah. Hit up. Well, we'll post the video on Facebook. So everybody go and give it a like on the Facebook. We can do the blitz, sure. That was an okay day. Let's wait and see if the E-mini actually breaks a new high or not. If I was Ace, I would say go short at 32.86. Oh no. No. But I'm long. Well, this is taking a little bit too long. It hasn't hit my minus. Oh, well, there it is right there. Yeah, it didn't work out. But I only lost a point. That guy would have joked no one listened to Trader Joe. I don't know. He got a good one there at 86. He said go short and it fell. Gonna have to say that one didn't work. I mean, so we got in on that one. John was kind of alerted me to it, but he was just reminding me of the signal. And it was a signal and everything, but I guess that one just didn't turn out. It's okay. I only took one there. It was a teensy weensy little loss. This is actually saying that it might turn back up. Oh, and the treasuries. This might actually be actionable. Hold on. Yeah. JB says it fizzled out at 86 3/4. Yeah. So what was the maximum that I ever got out of that? 3? Really? Ugh. This is super tight. See, I think I did everything correctly that time. It just didn't work out. Now it might turn. It might flip back around and make the high now. If it gets back up there, if it gets back above 86.25, I would maybe try it again, but I don't want to take any more from here. Trader Joe, this Trader Joe that. I hear he's handsome and in great shape as well. I can braid hair, make waffles, trade like a mother. I hate it. You braid hair? Do you have like, can you do like the really fancy hair braid? You know, like the waterfall stuff and stuff? Handsome, great. Treat like a mofo. Sorry, Ace. I must leave you now for Trader Joe. Virtually, of course. Oh, I see what's going on here. Oh man. That one sucks. I think they are going to make a new high here at some point. French braids are beyond me. It ends up looking like a weed eater ate her head. Oh man. I'll see those. Where do I see them? I can't even remember where I was seeing all these braids and stuff, but on some social media platform, I was seeing all sorts of fancy braiding. And I was like, oh, that looks so cool. I want to learn how to do that. But then I found out that you have to have a license to braid hair in Utah. Isn't that freaking retarded? so I never followed through on my dream to learn how to braid hair. Where is, oh, it's down here. Oh, of course. Volume being done. They could maybe turn back down in treasuries again, but it's super slow now. Luke Nuke, I think I'm going to be grateful for those 3 tooks I took from 03 to 04 half and call it a day. Good, hey, good call. Oh, you took that one too, Luke, huh? Good stuff. Ace Trade says, when I don't blame you, you need to follow your gosh. You need to follow your heart. Trader Joe is your vibration frequency number guy. Live long and prosper. It all comes together. Oh man, Jamie Dimon must have been bullish in his live broadcast this AM with Maria Bartiromo. JP Morgan, 2%, only green stock in the Dow. Yeah, their numbers were really good. I'm hoping that my boys Goldman do well tomorrow, but I'm kind of, they're not a good indicator. You have to have a license and you have to braid your daughter's hair. Yes, Ace trades. This trader is too dreamy to resist. I shall dance my way over to his table. Some things you need to do. I am missing most of my teeth. I don't bathe. I wake up every 25 to 30 minutes screaming, and the last 4 wives ended up, quote unquote, missing. Live long and prosper. Fascinating. I wonder if Spock danced during prom far. Did the Vulcans have festivals where you eat food? That would probably be illogical. Look at the ES just dying. Oh. There was a couple of indications that it was dying on me. So to lose one point on it, I did a good job. Live Action says Goldman is doing mass hiring for China. Really? I'm just hoping that their move into the consumer banking space means more growth for the company. That's what I'm doing. Trader Joe, that 86 call was decent. Yeah, it was. It was a good call. It's kind of all the things happened. I probably could have lost a little bit less, but hey, man, like 1 or 2 ticks is like, okay. On the E-mini. Splitting hairs. Not as much as you're splitting hairs with the 3, 6, and 9s and stuff, but still splitting hairs. What am I missing? Oh, yes. Okay. Patreon. How many likes do you think we can get here in the next 5 minutes before we have to go? We're at 11 right now. We're at 11. I don't know if anybody downvoted. If you downvoted, listen, I know that ES trade didn't work out and you might be disappointed about that. I'm certainly disappointed. I really wanted to see all of those stops, okay? But it looks like there was just a few too many longs up there. Okay. Anyways, I know you're disappointed, but we only lost 5 ticks. But then we got those 2 really great treasury trades, and we had some really good action in the treasuries. So I say this video is absolutely deserving of a like, and this is a video that I think that if you want to go back and see some interesting order flow, this is a really good video to go back and watch. So I think that today's action, if you don't feel that I deserve the like, then do it for the market's sake, because I think that the market tried really hard to put on a good show for you guys today. All right, let's post this. Full of poop or the Tao of poo. Everything we need to know we learned in kindergarten. I do like Digger. Oh my gosh, every time that you say that reminds me of this TikTok I saw where this girl was like, this guy, he was looking at me and he was looking at my butt. And I caught him looking at my butt. And so I looked up at him and I said, that's where I store my poo. That is a myth that Blackbeard had 14 wives. He married a Mary Oddman and no one knows what happened to her. She must have gone for a walk on the blank. Okay, let's post the cryptocurrency notes. What are they at right now? 8,700. Now, what was that before? Oh, it's just slightly higher than before. I don't know, guys. I'm gonna type here. I'm gonna mute myself. Okay, that's interesting, JB. Long at 82. Long at 82 and a quarter. I can see that it was a great trade. I guess I don't necessarily see the signal. Oh, that was the bottom of that white bar right there. Maybe. I don't completely understand that setup. I don't completely understand that setup. I thought 85 was great. I totally understood that one. This one I don't get. Maybe they're going to go, though. It sure looks like they could, huh? Oh, man. They could also do a head and shoulders. I don't know. In fact, yeah, I'm a little weary about this because the cumulative delta is sputtering out. I don't know. When you see a head and shoulder on the 1 minute chart in the E-mini, I found them to be unreliable. They can work out. I mean, if it dies, then they're gonna be below. They're gonna probably make a new low of the day if it fails. Long off the top of the 10 o'clock Eastern Time inside bar. Okay, that is what. Oh wait. Yeah, you're talking about this bar right here, right? Possible short setting up in the 3284-ish area, says Ace. Yeah, I'm not feeling the long anymore. Yeah, okay. So that the price makes sense to me, John. The thing that doesn't make sense to me is how do you determine at that point that you want to buy still? Cuz you could potentially see that price hit and think short, but of course they bounced after extending through it. Or no? Mm. Okay, he says he still has a short waiting for him. Oh man. I really want to take another trade in the E-mini, but I think that the time of day, it's that the one was enough for me. Ace Trades rum is like anything else. Cheap rum is not good, but a good rum and a fresh lime with rum, whatever, is super refreshing and goes down easy. The treasuries, by the way, moving higher. Curious. Do you see this one right here at 8:30? There was another spike, and I said, well, I'm not quite sure if I can qualifies, but it looks kind of dead here anyways. I don't want to trade it. Well, I'm looking through this. That still looks like action that I don't really want to be a part of. Like, look, you're taking a 2-tick scalp, okay? And it takes 20 minutes to get filled. So I'm glad that I didn't take it, but it would have worked out. And then the bonds go and they make a new high. So I feel like that maybe, well, the bonds might just be going higher though because of their look on inflation and not necessarily the economy. So that doesn't have to hurt equities. I'd certainly be careful though, because that is very much a head and shoulders, man. See that? So if it goes down, it's going to go badoosh. And it's going to be from there to there. Measured move from there to there, right? When I look at the cumulative delta, here you can see here was the one long run, and here's another long run, and now here's this long run. What does it equal? It is not getting as high as this. It's not making a new high in cumulative delta. If they make a new high in cumulative delta, then I would say that cancels out the pattern at that point. Well, actually, they could do it. They could totally do it. They're not that far off. I don't think that aces long ever hit, or short ever hit either. The channel, so this does not spam. 13 likes. Hey, thank you guys so much. Ace says no, thank heavens. Yeah, that one wasn't a very good one. I do think man, when I look at the E-mini right now, it just looks like a jumble of boxes to me. I don't have any real clue based on the things that I'm supposed to be looking at what it's going to do. But when I look at the longer term things and my gut feeling about the way that things are supposed to go, I think it should make a new high. Just like I did when I took that long earlier. So, I don't know. And I'm guessing that JB's still long. Maybe because earlier, I don't remember what he was looking for earlier, 89, something like that. Totally possible. I think we could get to this top of this hourly bar before the open, so like 89, 90. Which would make it worth a long, but nope. See, the positioning, it's not quite right. I think when I took this long here originally, I think that it was an okay trade, but I'm still really questioning whether I've got edge. But I really want to know, man. So I tell you what, JB, I'm gonna be home, so I need to do some work. But we can probably take a look at a couple of things. And I really want to know how you knew to take that long. So I understand what the price that it was, but I don't understand that looks to me like very discretionary, like you're picking something up in there about to take it long. But it sure was a good pick. Sure was a good pick. All right. Oh my gosh. I think that is it for us. So, good day. If you haven't hit that like button, I think most of you guys have, but if you haven't hit that like button, hit the like button. I appreciate it. Helps the channel out. What should we name today's video? What should we... We say... A few great scalps as bonds rise due to low inflation. Oh, I don't even need to say catching a few. Let's just say great scalps as bonds rise due to low inflation. Da, 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 da. Thank you. Ace Trades cooking bacon in his splatterproof apron. Cooking naked. I don't want to think. No. I mean, I haven't seen Ace in person, so I don't really know what it is. Maybe he would look great. But I don't want to think about that. No, it's scrambled eggs today. That's right. Right, because they got bored of waffles and now they want eggs every day. Well, you know what, Ace? If you need some eggs, I have a few extras. They're covered in shit, but you can have some. Bacon, watch out for the butter. You may have dropped it. Oh. Okay. We're done. I'm done. Stay profitable.